Okay, gang, got a new one in the shop here. Figured I'd go down the process or go through the process of initial teardown with you. Show you what's going on. I have here a Binson A606 TR. This one's imported by Guild, and this is interesting. I've never seen this before, but the Guild label is on here as a piece of tape. Never seen that. Unit's in nice shape externally. So let's tear into it and find out what's going on here. All right. All right. So after initial take apart here, solid state unit. So we've got the red and white wire on the playback heads, red and green wire on the record head, typical Binson wire with the rotting center conductor insulator. But overall, it doesn't look too bad. I'm going to pause this and I'll get the cover off. Okay. No, I won't. All right, so let's get these screws out of here. Drive wheel looks to be in good condition. Top's in nice shape. Spacing on the race heads looks right. I've seen those all over the place. This is actually looking pretty good. Nice cover though, no cracks, no dents. How'd that commercial go? No runs, no drips, no errors. Okay, now that we got that off of here, have a look at the impedance of the heads. I'll try and prop this so maybe you can see what it looks like. Start with the record head. Good sign, 43 ohms. Playback head, 44. 44. 43. And 44. That's good. Heads are in good shape. It's good to see. The drive wheel is as hard as a rock. That'll have to be redone. Maybe not now. Well, we'll have to wait and see once we get into it a little deeper. Okay. Let's flip it upside down and get the back off. You can tell just by looking in it already, it's a mess. Okay, it's actually not looking all that bad. Oh, it's not great. But let's kind of go through this here with you. So up here we have the power transformer. One DC supply and another here. These are the old spray capacitors, need to be redone. Normal reluctance motor. This being the bias oscillator and record amplifier. Here's your 4 inputs from your playback heads. Volume and tone for swell mode. Your transistors for your preamps. And then your selectors for the heads. On this board here are the controls for the input level and the length of swell. And then over here you've got the bass and treble control, the volume and the power switch. But you can see that all this wire pretty well toasted. It's gone. So, okay. So I'm going to take the drum out and see what we're looking like there. I never guess right. You think I'd have this memorized by now, right? Get my head in the way of this other shot. Sorry about my head. All right. Wow. Whoever put this one in here did not want it to escape. There we go. So I get my head out of the way here. I usually like using the ball end of these, but this one's not giving me a lot of choice. There we go. All right. So let's see what we got here. So from a condition standpoint, it's actually not bad. A couple of these spots I'm going to have to buff out, where you get spots like this with the drive wheel sits in one spot for a long time. You get moisture trapped in there and you get some rust. Bearing definitely needs to be polished. Like I said, this drive wheel is kind of a bit of a mess. In terms of the heads, from a wear standpoint, they're actually not bad. Let me take the camera out here and give you a close-up of that without making you seasick in the process, right? See if you can actually see this. But the heads, they're in grand shape. I've seen a hell of a lot worse than that. But these should all be quite savable. Let's get you back in the tripod here. Hold on. Okay. So to restore this, starting from the top, the heads look like they just need cleaned. I won't touch the alignment unless I have to. There's nothing like a Binson factory alignment. And as I'm looking through this, these heads haven't been moved. So based on the lack of wear and the way they look and the way this drum looks, probably won't have to touch them. I don't like to do that unless I have to. Now the idler wheel, it's got a bit of a skin on it. Take this off. Okay, well, this is going to be another problem. When you guys put these idler wheels on, you over tighten this top screw. And so what happens is, and this really pisses me off, pardon my French, but I'm going to have to take this apart, grind a slot in the bottom of the shaft to get that screw out, because the tension of the bottom screw won't hold it. Not a big deal, but so much for that plan for today. But anyway, all of this is going to be redone. These electrolytic caps will be redone. And all this wiring has to come out, every last piece of it. The good news for this particular model is that there's not a lot of corrosion on the chassis that I can see. So that's not going to be too bad. But you can see, like, this is just a horrific mess. It needs to be cleaned up. I always replace this switch, wire this up correctly so that the fuse is in the hot side. I usually lose this auxiliary jack because nobody uses it, but it's just a matter of replacing all the wire. And I have a diagram for myself. I can just snip all this out and put it all back together again. But you're easily looking at 10-15 hours to get all this done. The good news for this particular unit is these boards look really good. They really do. So I don't think there'll be a whole lot of cleaning going on there. And these don't look too bad. We got this one before it got really bad. So anyway, now it's a matter of tearing it apart. I don't think you necessarily want to watch that. Getting all these wires replaced, get the pots cleaned up, get the switches cleaned up, get it back up and running again. But the good news is, from a disk and memory standpoint, this thing looks pretty good. So it's a matter of pulling it apart, getting it squared away.